Welcome to the Arsenal show. We are live and it's a North London derby special. Arsenal take on Tottenham Hotspur at home tomorrow, 4:30, in a game that they cannot lose. Arsenal can't lose tomorrow. Simple. That's it. No negotiations on that. They cannot lose against Tottenham tomorrow. There's a lot riding on this. The Arsenal just won a few games on the trot. Still, there's people questioning what Mikel Arteta's doing. So this will be a staunch test to see how he's moving forward. Joining me today is Steve K. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, I'm really good, Kieran. Looking forward to tomorrow. Do we look forward to it? You know, once it's kicked off, we don't do it. You can't really enjoy the North London derby unless, you smash them. No, and there's always the worry of the big man up front, Harry Kane. So it's going to be exciting. We need to win.
We do. And of course, I'm joined by Jerome Marks. How you doing, Jerome?
Yeah, fine. The nerves haven't kicked in yet, but when they kick in, they're strong. I'm sure that will happen maybe tomorrow morning, perhaps. But at the moment, quite relaxed.
Quite relaxed, yeah. Well, I mean, I've not really thought too much about it, and then I went online and it was just everywhere. So you can't really get away with it from it. So what were you saying in the comment section, people? Big 0-0 coming in this match. Cheers, Garth. You stick to your Man United ones. Yeah, just press the like and share.
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
all right.
I love you, Garth, but you got your own problems today. So.
yeah, we won't mention that one. I'm sure Nathan has plenty to say in his rating show. Thank you very much there. Appreciate that. Hit that like and hit that subscribe, people. And let's crack on with the show. So, big game. From the press conference yesterday, it seems that there's no injuries. It seems that we've got a full squad. Granit Xhaka is back. It seems like the noise is coming out that he may get started, possibly ahead of Lokonga. Let's give our predicted lineups. I want to hear your predicted lineups as well, people, in the comment section. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like. Let's start with Jerome. We always start with Steve. Let's start with Jerome today. Give us your predicted lineup, Jerome.
Oh, it's all about Xhaka, isn't it? Whether he brings him back or not. I think the goal in the defence picks itself.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see him putting Leno back in goal. I think he'll stick with Ramsdale.
Yeah.
And the back four as what it has been the last couple of league games. So Tierney and Tomiyasu was the fullbacks, and Gabriel and Ben White centre backs. It's the midfield, and I think this is the $1 million question, isn't it? Will he stick with the team that he's played in the last game with Partey, Ødegaard, and Smith Rowe, or will he bring Xhaka back? I still don't know, to be honest. Look, Xhaka's obviously an important player for Arteta. The fact that obviously he hasn't played in probably about 3 or 4 weeks, will that come into it in terms of like match fitness?
Yeah.
He's only been training, obviously after his suspension. I think he might go back to Xhaka and stick him in the middle with Partey, and then it's a case of who does he drop from the sort of wingers? Is it Pepe or Smith Rowe? And it's hard to tell. I think he might. I think he'll drop Smith Rowe, so I think he'll go with Partey and Xhaka in midfield, Ødegaard just ahead of them, and Saka and Pepe on the wings with Aubameyang up front. Right. If I had to stick money on it, that's the team I think he would pick. But as always with Arteta, he never picks the team that is sort of. You can never tell.
Arteta. You cannot. You certainly can't.
Hard. I wonder. Interesting to see what Steve thinks as well, because it's so hard to call this team lineup, isn't it?
Yeah. So Steve, what's your predicted lineup?
Predicted?
Yeah.
What I think it will be. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be too far off of what my lineup is. I mean, when I ripped my 11 out for the game tomorrow, it was one of the quickest 11 that I writ out, that I've ever done. So with the fact that I did that, I'm assuming and I hope that Arteta's, should basically getting close to knowing what his first team of, or at least to know what team to play in certain games. So the predicted lineup is more or less what my lineup will be. And that would be Ramsdale in goal. Obviously, Leno's got no chance. He won't be playing. So, and then the back, like Jerome said, the back four, like it's always been for the last few games, with Tomiyasu, Tierney, White, and Gabriel. And then I'd have Partey. Then you say you've got the question. Like last week, I said that going forward, I would love to see Partey and Ødegaard as that midfield, as Ødegaard playing the number 8.
Yeah.
And the more I've thought about this game now, I think you've got to go for game to game. And like Jerome, I think Xhaka should come in, and I think he will come in, just to do the fact of the game that it is, and and I don't think Lokonga might be a little bit overawed by that. Xhaka's been there, got this, done the T-shirt, so yeah, I get Jerome's point about the fact that he hasn't played for 3 games, but I don't think that's going to be a problem for Xhaka. He has his faults, but he's got a good. He is a professional, and he'll come straight into that game, and I think he'll fit straight in. And the rest of my team is pinpoint exactly what Jerome said. Ødegaard, Aubameyang, Pepe on the left, and Xhaka on the right. And and also like Jerome, I think he'll drop Smith Rowe.
Smith Rowe's one of your firm favourites, Jerome. Are you thinking? Do you see the reason behind him potentially is dropping Smith Rowe for this game, or would you play him?
I would play him, but it's really just going off of Arteta's previous lineups that Smith Rowe seems to be the one that misses out. So it's normally sort of 2 from 3. It's Smith Rowe, Xhaka, and Pepe. And it's sort of 2 of those normally that Arteta picks. And maybe he thinks he could have an impact from the bench, perhaps. I don't know. But like we've said before, Xhaka and Smith Rowe, they're very young players still. And to play them every game, it's hard for them. Sometimes with Arsenal Spurs, what is often talked about is that you want players that know what it means to play in a North London derby. And when it comes to Smith Rowe and Xhaka as opposed to Pepe, obviously them two have been playing Arsenal Spurs pretty much their whole lives. Yeah. So maybe that could give them a slight edge in terms of being picked for this game, but just really going off of Arteta's teams in the last few games, he seems to prefer Pepe and Xhaka.
What do you think? What do you think's key in this game to get a result tomorrow, Steve, from Arsenal?
The defence has got to be playing just as well as he has done against Burnley and Norwich. The difference between those 2 games and this 2 games is that this is Tottenham and they're a cut above the other 2 teams that we've played, and also the fact that Tottenham have got Harry Kane, who just literally scores every single time, and he will have to be stopped. If Tottenham score tomorrow, he's going to be the one who is more than likely to score the goal. So I think, especially White and Gabriel, they've got to have excellent games to stop Mr. Harry Kane, and that's where I think the game could be won or lost. The point that Jerome was making with Smith Rowe, Arteta could possibly bring Smith Rowe in for Pepe, because Pepe is mainly attacking. He's not what someone you would call could attack and can defend.
Yeah.
Where Smith Rowe can attack and he also can defend. So Arteta may look at that and think, because of the opposition, I'll pull Pepe out. So that is a possibility.
All right. So what do you think's key tomorrow then, Jerome, to win this?
So like Steve said, keeping their forwards quiet. But I think in terms of keeping their forwards quiet, something that we've noticed from Spurs teams recently on aspects of their game, that I think if we sort this out, Arsenal will be in a very good position to win, is stopping their counter-attacks. That seems to be the main threat from Spurs with Son and Kane. If you know, the transitions from they're not the best team in the world, Spurs, and they haven't started off this season very well, but what they can do well is counter-attack. And that's where I think the likes of maybe Partey in the middle, I think he is massively important. If we'll come on to, I'm sure, like the key men, but I think Partey tomorrow, he obviously hasn't had the best of times since he joined Arsenal. He came with a massive reputation, and we all know he's a fantastic player, but he hasn't really lived up to what we know he's capable of. And I think for tomorrow, he seems to be finding his feet in terms of his fitness. Mm-hmm. He had a very good pre-season until he picked up the injury. And I think if he can control the midfield along with the players that are in and around him, if he can have a top game, I think that is going to really define the outcome of tomorrow's game. And he's obviously the one that will probably hold in the midfield. So in terms of stopping Spurs' counter-attacks, I think a lot will be on him tomorrow.
Would you read anything into Spurs' recent form, Steve? They had a good start to the season, but it's tailed off a little bit to recently in the last few games. 3-0 loss to Crystal Palace, 3-0 loss to Chelsea, 2-2 draw, although it was away to Rennes, 2-2 draw at Wolves as well. And they've played quite a bit of football in a short space of time.
Yeah. If this was an ordinary game, if this was Arsenal versus Liverpool, then something like that, or Arsenal against any other team in the Premiership, then maybe so. That would be, something that you could look at. And I'm sure in a roundabout way, Arteta has certainly mentioned it, that they can be got at. But this is a different kettle of fish. This game, it's the old adage. Form goes right out the window on this one. I think you can basically forget about what's gone on before in the season, and I don't think you can read into too much of what Spurs' form over the last two games will be, because come 4:30 tomorrow, we all know they're going to be up for it. Yeah. They're going to come out. They're going to have the whole of one end. They're going to have 60,000. They're going to have a good 7,000-8,000 fans there themselves. So no, I don't think that their form will come into it. I hope it does, though.
Yeah, because they've been conceding for a Nuno Espirito Santo team. They've conceded quite a few goals recently, which is what sort of are leading to. They've 3 against Palace, 2 against Rennes, 2 against Wolves, 3 against Chelsea. Although Chelsea are a very good team, but this is not your normal Nuno type sort of results.
No.
Jerome, you mentioned it a couple of minutes ago. Key man. Who's your key man for this game?
Yeah. So thinking about this, obviously we're not sure of the team he's going to pick, but I think one thing that is certain is Thomas Partey is going to play, and I think him tomorrow. I think if he has a very good game, then I think it's looking very good in terms of an Arsenal getting a positive victory. He's shown glimpses, hasn't he, so far, of what he can do, and I think his first sort of North London derby with the manager, with fans there, I'm hoping that he'll sort of raise his game and he'll play at the level that we all know he can play at. And Spurs' midfield, it's an okay midfield. It's not one of the best in the league. It's not a midfield that you look at and you're sort of frightened of. So for me, if Pai has a decent game, I think we'll have a good chance of winning. And he's due one, isn't he, Partey? He's due a really good positive performance. So yeah, he's my, and also he hasn't scored yet, has he? And sometimes there's things work them their way. There's like, how can I say it? Things have a funny way of working themselves out, and he got injured obviously away at Spurs last season. Notoriously, he hasn't scored yet. I think that he could pick up his first goal tomorrow, so I'll go with Thomas Partey as the key man.
All right, Steve, who have you got as your key man?
Yeah, Partey's going to be key. That midfield area there is going to be key, but particularly Thomas Partey. I agree with Jerome. He hasn't. We haven't seen the form like Jerome said that he's done against Atletico Madrid, and the last time he played against Spurs, he had a bit of a nightmare. So I'm thinking that he'll certainly want to make up for that, and I've given the benefit of that. He may have been injured at the start of that game as well, so it may have not been fit, but yeah, he didn't play well at all in that game. So hopefully he will, sort of turn that round on Sunday. But that middle area is going to be important. And if Partey does have that good game, like Jerome says, and wins that midfield battle and stops some of that supply to Harry Kane, that's going to make our defence's lives a lot easier. And maybe we can get Tomiyasu and Tierney forward, because that's going to be the key. Because if we can stop them counter attacks, if we can stop them win that midfield battle, if that is something that's by once the game starts going that we're doing, then they'll probably get the nod, and you'll see Tierney getting down, and you'll see Tomiyasu getting down there. Where if we're not winning it, they won't be doing that. And they'll be doing more defending, and therefore we won't be making chances. And the way our goal scoring is going recently, it's going to be very difficult to score goals. But yeah, I mean, I'm desperate for Thomas Partey to have a good game. Like Jerome, I'm desperate for him to score a goal. And I just don't want to. I don't want to come on here tomorrow and give him a 6. I want to give you a 7, Thomas Partey. I want to give you an 8, 9. Come on. No, don't let me give you a 6 again. I don't want to give you a 6.
You mentioned. Sorry, go on.
I agree with Jerome. I have to agree. It's Thomas Partey, key man.
You mentioned Harry Kane, but another player who seems to always stick the knife when you're playing Arsenal is Son. How do we contain Son tomorrow? Who needs to be on point to keep him out of the game?
Well, I guess he's going to be probably on Tomiyasu's side, and I think with Tomiyasu, what's important is he doesn't get caught up the pitch. It's good that he's not really Bellerin's a very attacking right back, and Tomiyasu isn't as attacking as Bellerin. So I think that he needs to be disciplined tomorrow. Don't get caught out of position. He seems to be a very good one-on-one defender. So hopefully he can live up to that sort of reputation that he's got for himself as being a very good defensive right back and keep him quiet. But I think it's all on the transitions. I fancy Tomiyasu on the 1v1s, but just not to get sort of caught out of position and leave Son loads of space. And I think he'll, if he has a good game as well, Tomiyasu, we can keep Son quiet. That'll go a long way as well to get us a decent result.
Yeah, definitely. Steve, Aubameyang, how important is he to this tomorrow?
He's important. He's going to be massively important because I can't see us getting many chances, and when we do, the more than likeliness is they're going to be falling to Aubameyang, And look, if he, we've started asking questions over the last couple of weeks about Aubameyang. As we said, we're not giving him no pass just because he's our talisman and he's done what he's done for us in the past. He's got to start, performing now.
Mm-hmm.
And if he has another bad game tomorrow against Spurs and he looks like he's not bothered, then there's some serious questions has got to be asked about him. But he's massively important. It's massively important to get a goal. He needs that goal. I mean, and for him to get a goal against Tottenham, I mean, that might just be the little, flick of the switch that will set Aubameyang off for the rest of the season. So I'm really hoping that he can do it. I like you, Kieran. You said, I keep awake at night over you, Pierre. Sitting there, looking up at the ceiling. I'm worried about him, mate. I'm getting worried about him because it makes me wondering whether he's ever going to get his form back. But massively important, absolutely. He needs a goal, and he needs one tomorrow. Could change the whole season. Was
there a worry with you and Aubameyang, Jerome?
I'll tell you what for tomorrow, no, and I'll tell you what's on my mind with Aubameyang. The same game last season, notoriously got dropped for it, and I'm hoping that will be in his mind tomorrow, and he'll be fired up for the game, knowing that he missed the chance of playing in one of these games last season. Yeah. So I'm hoping that you don't need to get fired up for any North London derby, but just with that extra bit of I wish I would have played in this game last season. Hopefully, he'll have the bit between his teeth. And also with Aubameyang, this is probably going to be one of his last ones at the Emirates as well, isn't it? So, he's going to be captain. Atmosphere is going to be amazing.
I was just about to say how important the fan's going to be tomorrow.
Yeah, honestly, atmosphere is going to be electric, especially the first, when the game kicks off. Sometimes, after 30, 40 minutes, the fans sort of die down a little bit. But normally at the beginning, it's going to be so ferocious. It's going to be played at such a high speed and high tempo. And hopefully, Aubameyang will sort of thrive off of that environment. But Kieran, massive importance that the fans will have.
You know what? We're talking about it now. It's starting to hit me. It's starting to hit me.
Yeah.
I mean, he scored 11 goals in 33 games. So for a striker, what do you want? What do you want? You want one in? Do you want one in two? Do you want one in three? What is the ratio for a top striker? I would have thought 1 in 2. So
1 in 2.
Yeah.
He needs to start hitting the back of the net.
Yeah, he does. He does need to start hitting them ratios again, and that's the problem. And it can't be 1 here, 1 in 5 games. But I think Glenn makes a good point. Aubameyang is very much a player who feeds off the crowd, and if tomorrow the crowd is for me, it's massively important tomorrow. The new players that are being involved in it, they're going to get a taste of what it's like to be in a proper derby. The players that have been there, they're going to know the right things to say. And I think Aubameyang, do you know what? Before, I feel as I'm talking, I'm hyping myself up more that Aubameyang will smash it tomorrow. And we're going to smash Tottenham. That is how I feel now. Just talking about it is getting me going. All right, okay. Score predictions. Don't ask me because I'm going to give you a silly one. Score predictions, Steve.
Oh, it's one of them heart and brain ones. There's my brain's telling
fully heart. Heart.
I know you are. Do I go with my brain or my heart? What do I do? My heart says we're gonna go and win 2-1. If everything goes to plan, like I've just sort of templated it out there.
And your brain says 3-1.
Yeah. But me head's saying 1-1. It's saying a draw. With Kane getting 1 and possibly hopefully Aubameyang. So look, I have to say what I feel, and I'm going to have to say 1-1.
What? Excuse me. Is there?
Yeah, I'll Garth. Yeah, see, Garth knows exactly.
Is there some interference there?
Huh.
No.
What's happened? 1-1. Before we go on, before Jerome gives us his score predictions, give us your score predictions, people. We've got a 2-1 from Garth. Glenn, love that. 3-0 Arsenal, all hearts, no head. Me and Glenn had a lobotomy last night, and that's how we're rolling around for the next 2 days. Is all heart. Hit that subscribe button, people, if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're watching on Facebook, come over to YouTube and hit the subscribe button as well. You know what I mean? Yeah, do it. Jerome, score predictions.
Yeah,
Heart first.
The heart. To be honest, the heart and the head, I think they're on the same wavelength this week. Yeah, they're in sync. They're in sync.
I like that.
Good word, in sync.
I like that. It's good.
I think Arsenal will win 2-1. I don't think there'll be tons of goals. And I just think that there's a bit of a feel-good factor coming back to Arsenal. And, first time in ages, he's got his pick of the squad, isn't he, Arteta? He can pick anyone who he wants. There's no one's injured. The fans are going to make it an amazing atmosphere. Hopefully they'll be right behind the players.
Yeah.
Players will be up for it. I know it's a derby, and like Steve said, you can't read anything into the form and stuff. But yeah, I just fancy us tomorrow. So 2-1 is my prediction.
All right. I'm gonna give now.
5-0. 5-0 Arsenal.
Nah. Okay. I want to say 2-0. But you two have both said we're going to concede. So that's thrown me off a bit. But I don't care. I'm sticking with 2-0. All right? Don't usually give predictions, but this is a different occasion.
Special occasion.
Who's scoring? Come on.
All right, goal scorers. Aubameyang and Xhaka.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lot of sneaky feeling for Xhaka, funny enough, somewhere along the line.
So who's your goal scorer, Steve?
Well, I did say Aubameyang, but I'm going to change it. I'm going to say Xhaka.
And Jerome, who's your goal scorers?
Yeah, I think Partey and Aubameyang tomorrow.
All right. I want to hear your goal scorers, Glenn. Come on, hit us with your goal scorers. Mystic Kieran. Yep, I have been told I do have psychic powers. So you never know. I can see into the future. Thank you very much. Little question from Garth. Do you think that these derbies matter to players anymore, or is it just the fans who get hyped for them? Could I answer? I think it's a combination of both, because if the fans get hyped up enough, that will sort of send a signal to the players the magnitude of the game. And if you're involved in that, like, you can't help but play up to it, in my eyes, just from the atmosphere, because the atmosphere in this game won't be like any other game in the Premier League, at least. And we're not playing in Europe. So, I think it's a bit of both. And the history, a good club keeps the history going through whatever players are there, and they let players know what this means to the fans, which, again, it adds up.
Do you know what as well? When players come, from other clubs, when they're bought, and they've obviously played massive derby matches, with their club that they've come from. Just like, for argument's sake, Dortmund, with Aubameyang, Tierney, Celtic. Now, that feeling when they're playing against them games is an incredible feeling, and they never want to lose that. So when they go to a new club, they want to get that feeling back. Yeah. That's a special feeling.
Yeah, very
true. When you're playing in that derby match and you're playing in that special game. So when they're going to play and for instance, Tierney comes or so-and-so comes or Pepe comes, they've all played derby matches before. They come to the new club. They want that passion, and they want it. they want it. So I feel that they take on their the derby passion that they've played from in their over the years and bring it to the club because they want it because it's a special feeling.
Good point. Jerome, what's your take on it? Do you think that it matters to the players, or do you think it's the fans that are hyping them up? You're on mute.
Sorry, I think it does matter to the players, and I think you'll be able to tell that from when the game kicks off. You'll see there's something slightly different about the tempo of the game. But yeah, it's a bit different, obviously, now to how it was maybe 30 years ago, perhaps. But I think we see
more football because people aren't just trying to kick lumps out of each other.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it matters. Yeah.
All right. Glenn says Abba 2, Saka 1. Emil Smith Rowe assist and Ødegaard picks up 2 assists. I mean, Glenn, I want to watch this game that you're the director of, mate, because I swear it sounds like a great game. One to go down in the history books. We can definitely make a DVD of that one. It matters to Abba for sure. It does. He knows now. He knows. And if, like I said before, if the players don't understand, it only takes being involved in it or probably the atmosphere around the grounds, the clubs, then seeing how the fans are reacting. They will soon know. We know who's in Glenn's stream team. Yeah, 100%. All right, people. As I always say, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Come and support us. Show us some love on YouTube. But that's all we've got time for until tomorrow. When the derby kicks off, we're all sitting there tentatively watching the game, feeling a bit sick. We take the lead. It's 1-0. I can't watch it, but I have to. My stomach's churning. And then we get the win. All right? That is what I want to see. Come on, Arsenal. We can do it. All right. Thanks for giving us your time up today, boys. Thank you for joining us today, Steve.
Yeah. Thanks, mate.
There we go. Glenn, you have hyped me up, mate. It's you. It's you, Glenn. Thank you for joining us, Jerome.
Pleasure. Cheers. Thanks.
All right. And thank you for joining us, Glenn. Garth. And yes, a couple of people on Facebook as well. Thanks for joining us, people. Peace out. Stay safe. And wash your hands.